Hello everyone, this is a Gamewell Zans 200 fire alarm control panel. These are pretty rare, and they were produced throughout most of the 1970s and early 1980s. The Zans 200 is a conventional fire alarm panel and is available in 1, 4, 8, and 12 zone configurations. This is a 4-zone configuration. So let's take a look. On the door we just have a bunch of lamp indicators, each one for zones, trouble, and AC2 on. And this panel uses a Cat60 key. In the back here we have a bunch of labels. I got this panel on eBay for a pretty decent price and it looks like it was never used. Door has a few scratches on it and stuff, but other than that it's in pretty good condition for its age. You see each of these connectors for the lamps, and these loop back to the main board. Here's some label information. And here's the actual model and a label about equalizing batteries. Reading that date code right, this particular panel was made April 1st of 1981, so it's a bit of a later model. There's also a similar date code on the main circuit board. So inside the panel there's 6 operating switches. You get 4 off normal switches here. Buzzer off just shuts off the trouble buzzer, which is right there. Battery high rate sets the battery charger to a high current rate. Alarm off silences the signal circuits, and master box off just disables the master box. Flipping any of these switches off results in a trouble. This normal reset, this is a momentary switch. Just resets the system when there's an alarm. And this TR test is used to diagnose troubles on any of the zones. And we'll demonstrate that a little bit later. Now down here, these are all the zones. Each one has a relay and they're all marked accordingly on the board. The 1-zone panel uses the same board except it only has 1 zone instead of 4. And the 8 and 12 zone models just have extra rows of zones below here. Something interesting about the Zans 200 is, unlike most fire alarm control panels, the zones and the signal circuits are both supervised with diodes instead of resistors. It's pretty interesting. So here's the big transformer, and this is the AC input. This panel normally has a 3-phase input. There's 2 lives and 1 neutral. But just to make things easier, I jumpered both lives to the same terminal, so it's just 2-phase. And this extra wire here, that goes to a remote trouble bell, 120 volts AC. Over here, the B plus and B minus, that's for a battery input. The T terminals are for a trouble relay. The A's are for an alarm relay. And it's DC terminals with a jumper across it. Alarm interrupter module can be installed here, and that provides the panel with a coded signal. These 2 terminals here with diodes on them, these are both the signal circuits. You get 2 on this panel. The S plus and S minus, those are for auxiliary 24-volt power for smoke detectors. And this right here is the circuit breaker for that auxiliary power. The MB terminals over there, those are for the master box. And the AT and minus, if connected together, creates a non-silenceable signal circuit. And there's not a lot of power on this circuit. It's only really for 1 signal, such as a water flow trouble bell. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Let's connect some devices to it and power it up. Okay, so here's what we got on the system. We have a Gamewell Sentry pull station, M46-29, Space Age V33 light, and a Space Age AV32 light plate with the FCI HP horn behind it. And both of these lights have built-in flasher circuits on them. The panel is just coming out continuous, there's no signal coding on it. So let's just hit it. Alarm silence, now we can reset the pull station. Or at least try to. There we go. Zone 1 light's on. Hit the reset button. And on silence. Now we're back to normal. So real quick, try that TR test button. It lights up all of the zone indicators. The trouble and the AC lights operate separately. And any zone light that is not lit indicates a trouble. But I'll say that zone 3 is working, it's just the lamp's burped out. It could be the reason for the trouble, maybe not. This panel isn't very specific, but yeah, that's the trouble test function. And one more thing, you can test the battery backup on this panel. Okay, the panel looks off, but it's actually still working. Yep. Good on batteries. And that was the Gamewell Zans 200. For a low-cost panel from the 70s and early 80s, it's a pretty solid panel. And since it's relay-based, they'll probably go on for a really long time, assuming it's taken care of. These are quite rare to find too, so it's always nice to have one, especially in condition like this. If you have any questions or comments on the Zans 200, feel free to post them below. But until next time, have a nice day.